Hello everybody, my name is Tori Albee and I will be speaking to you about the gun control laws. Anyone in here been paying attention to the current issues in Washington with the gun control?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Anybody in here drive a car?
Yes.
Yes.
Anybody in here have a seatbelt in their car?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to have a seatbelt in your car?
Yes.
Yes.
Anybody in here have a fire extinguisher in your house?
Yes.
Yes.
Does anybody in here want to have a fire extinguisher in your house?
Yes.
Yes.
Why?
Because in case if there's a fire in my house, I might be able to slow it down before the fire department comes.
Okay, so in the possibility that you might have a fire in your home, would it be nice to have a fire extinguisher under the sink?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, and you clicked on a very good point right there. You might be able to slow it down before the fire department gets there. I'll touch on that again a little bit later, but sometimes if you have a gun as well, you might be able to slow down a situation before law enforcement can get there. I'll touch on that a little bit later again. Let's go forward. We all drive cars. We all have seatbelts in them. How many of you have had an accident or something where the seatbelt was necessary?
I have.
Both of
Here.
you. Now, without that seatbelt, what would have happened?
I would have been killed.
You'd have been killed. What about you?
Died.
Both of you would have died. There are other situations where you may not have died, but it saved you from more serious injury, correct?
Yes.
Now, for those of you who do not have any incidences of car accidents where the seatbelt was necessary, do you not need them?
Still need it.
Still need it.
Still need it. Why?
In case you get in an accident.
For that 1 in 100,000 times that you go out on the road and you get nailed, you want to have that seatbelt to protect you. So what about the same situation in your home? In your home, you might have someone come through the door, someone come to invade your home. Would you maybe want to have a gun there to protect you in that 100,000 times that you've come home, sat on your couch in your recliner and watched television? Would you want that gun at your side that one time that 3 men come through your door?
Yes.
So, I think there's a little bit about simple math here. A lot of the controversy is how many rounds a magazine can carry, and whether it should carry more than 10 rounds. This is 30 rounds right here. So I put 15 in this magazine and 15 in this magazine. I have 30 rounds, right? I put 10 in this one, 10 in this one, and 10 in this one. I have 30 rounds, right?
Correct.
Now, if a guy comes through your door in your house, you have your gun, you have one 10-round clip in yours, he has 15 rounds in his or more, because he may have more. Who has more?
He does.
He does.
Robber.
He does. Now, is there a possibility that there could be more than one guy?
Yes.
Now, I know for myself, I've watched the news reports. I've seen different news broadcasts of different incidences. We can talk about the LA riots. We can talk about Katrina. We can talk about the LA bank robbery, the famous LA bank robbery. Those men had assault rifles, they had handguns, they had armor, and they had multiple magazines, and they trained themselves. The 2 boys that came in to Columbine High School and did the massacre in 1999 trained themselves in the woods behind their homes on how to load, how to reload, and how to do it quickly. They came into that school with multiple guns and multiple magazines. Now, do you think that anyone with one 10-round magazine could have done anything if that was their own home against any of those incidents? Now, as far as the LA riots go, the LA riots, they had vandalism, they had looting, they had beatings, they had hijackings, they had businesses that were ramshackled. Do you know the only businesses that were not harmed in the LA riots were several stores where the owners had AK-47s and they stood on the roof of their buildings, locked and loaded. Nobody touched their stores. Nobody. Now, was that the bad guy against the good guy? Now, Wayne LaPierre from NRA, he said the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun.
Mm-hmm.
Is that true or not true?
I agree.
Yeah.
In Meet the Press, Mr. LaPierre stated during an interview that you could ban all Dianne Feinstein, you could do whatever she wants to do with the magazines. It's not going to make our kids safer. Has anybody heard of the Defense Distributed?
No.
No. They're a company that they are trying to prove that our Second Amendment is something that we need to value and we need to keep, and that changing it is not going to change what the criminals are doing. And this group has made, produced, and done a evidential video shooting an AR-15 with a magazine, and I don't have one for that type of weapon, but they made their magazine off of instructions that they downloaded and printed from a 3D printer. Have any of you heard of the 3D printing?
No.
You can buy a 3D printer from anywhere from $350 to several thousand. The lower range ones run around $350 to $1,200. You buy the product that comes with it. It hooks into your computer, and the product is plastic. And it's literally just a ream of plastic that runs into the printer. And you send your schematics, which are the ones you download of the magazine, which is what they did, and the computer program dissects it. And then it literally prints it from the bottom up, all the way up. And when you are done, you have a plastic replica of the exact thing that you sent into the computer. They put a spring in it, loaded it with the rounds, loaded it into their weapon, and successfully shot 86 rounds out of a 30-round magazine. You can see this on YouTube. And it is Defense Distributed, in case anybody didn't understand that part of it. Now, we have a serious issue where the government is trying to prove to us that the problem is that we have too many rounds in a magazine. And that they don't want to take our guns away, but they think that we have too many rounds allowed in a magazine. So let me ask you a question. If you were in your house and those three men came burling through the door with their 30-round clips, why should you have to change your 10-round magazine 3 or more times to combat them with their one?